I got like 2 more people trying to get in at least.
What'd you have, James?
I was gonna say, just could you, give everyone an update? I got this recorded, so it'll go up on some social channels later. But if you could give just like an update on stuff that you're hearing, or if you don't know anything, that works too. But just whatever you're hearing from the league side.
Look, I think one of the biggest things in this whole process is that the USL is not operating. We're in close contact with other leagues, with U.S. soccer, with a lot of different people, and we're not just going to make a decision as lone wolves, right? We're going to do sort of what the collective best interest of the players and the fans are. And I don't think that we think we're going to figure that out all on our own. And I think that's the right way to approach it, is to take a collective approach, get the best minds in the business all together, and figure out how we can proceed with sports, which we think is psychologically important for the country, but also, you have to put everybody's safety first. So, I've seen some stuff out there, so basically I think right now we all hope that we'll get back this year, and we'll try to get as much of the season in, but we would never put any fan safety or any player safety in the way of trying to do that. It's just not something we would do.
Yeah, we'll take some more questions on that if any other fans happen to think of anything. We got the chat going, so if you don't want to speak up, then I can see everything on the chat going, and just let me know. We'll answer it the best we can, right, Jim?
Yep, and I'm gonna go get more potato chips. Don't let my dogs eat my food. We'll eat that, baby.
Hey, Rachel! Look at that team player with her red on Friday, and famous Toasery, double whammy.
I got the club and the BLT.
We got the stuffed French toast yesterday. Took advantage of that 20% off. That was really good.
Cinnamon apple pancakes.
Wow.
So
having a buffalo chicken wrap delivered. So.
I got a famous Toasery water bottle.
All right, we'll get started. So thanks for everyone joining us today. Hope you guys are safe, healthy, and hanging out, doing the best you can at home, and staying sane. So like I said, the chat is open. If you have any questions for our special guest today, just let me know, and I'll shout them out towards the end. Do want to point out our special guest today. Give us a wave, Mike. Jeffries, head coach, right there. And then Hugh Roberts, defender, second year, right there. And then president and managing partner, Jim, give us a wave. There he is. All right. So thanks for hopping on our Zoom Hangout today, presented by Famous Toasery. Want to shout out those guys right quick. Everyone shared what they got for lunch. But if you haven't got anything for lunch or missed out on, I think they close about after lunchtime. They're running an Easter special this weekend. It's $40 and it feeds 4 people, so that's a good deal. We'll be putting that out later today, and that'll run through the weekend, I'm pretty sure. So go support those guys. We know the restaurants and local businesses are struggling right now, so anything we can do to help support those guys is really good. And so I wanted to jump in today's chat, or today's Hangout. Both of our special guests, both Hugh and Mike, have lived up in the Northeast. So I just want to, what's good about living up there? What do you like about Maryland, Hugh?
Well, for me, the fact that the nation's capital, DC, is right there. I love going to DC all the time, and it's very diverse up in the DMV area. So for me, growing up, there's been a bunch of diversity through my friends. And when you go up 95, you have Baltimore an hour away. Philly is only an hour from Baltimore, and New York's right there too. So to have everything pretty much connected is why everyone loves the Northeast, because it's all close. But yeah, just the diversity, and it's cold up there, but other than that, I pretty much love it up there.
What do you think, Mike, when you lived up there?
No, I just enjoyed growing up there, and I guess a little different for me when I was playing in the Northeast. It was, I started when the game started in my area. So I think there were like 64 kids in the county, and so it was kind of fun to grow up with the game. And I think I was 8 years old, and by the time I left senior year in high school, it was 3,000. So you could almost see the growth in that area. And for me, it was neat because the city, I lived in the DC area, and obviously it was pretty multicultural. So you got a real feel for the game from different environments and different thought processes. So and those were also the good old days when we actually did play with all of 2 at the back and 5 up front. So it was a lot of fun those days before us coaches got in the way.
And the food is good there too, right? Like
Yeah, real
best
good.
food, right?
Oh, absolutely, of course. So, but we enjoy, no matter where we are, we always find good food. That's the key.
Is there if anybody, I went to Baltimore, I guess it's about 2 years ago now, and we had some good food spots. There's like a open market type thing. We always try to go there. But is there any place that you want to shout out, or any places that are?
That's my daughter's the expert on Baltimore. She's lived there for a couple of years, so she knows it better than I do.
Anywhere in the harbor, for real. Baltimore is known for the seafood and crabs. So if you go anywhere in the harbor area, you're gonna get really good seafood. So I just recommend going to the harbor.
Yeah. And then you also went to George Mason, which is like kind of similar area or whatever. How was that?
Oh, it was nice. I mean, yeah, it's only 20 minutes outside DC, so it's basically down the street from my home still. But it was different being in Virginia. It's a little more rural down there. It's definitely like a campus vibe, not a city vibe being on campus, which is nice too. It's a big campus, but just being close to home was always good for me, and still being close to my friends in the DC area was nice. And it's just nice that you have the metro going through campus that you can take to DC anytime you want. It's just, they do a nice job staying connected within the DMV area.
What do you miss most about those college days?
Honestly, probably my boys. Going in, we had 9 or 10 of us going into my freshman class, and we all pretty much stayed together for 4 years. We lived in the house for 2 years. 8 of us lived in the house my last 2 years. So just the camaraderie and the chemistry of my boys. I just miss being around, competing with them every time.
That was like the class that you came up with. Like they were on the team?
Right.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Any of those guys still playing?
Nah, I'm the only one. Only one. It's crazy. They're all on the U17 national team, big hype guys coming in, and I'm the only one who made it out to a team after college.
All right. Well, I think I'm not as good as today as I have been. I don't have any trivia questions today, so.
Hey, hold on, James. Should any of them be playing?
What was that?
So should any of them be playing still?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of them still can play now. There's a couple guys, like I was saying, on the U17 national team, Alex Herrera and Julio Arjona, actually very good still, and they should still be playing. Taylor Washington, that was the left back for Nashville. I forgot about him. He's 2 years younger than me. He went to George Mason with me as well. He's now with the MLS team Nashville's with Philly and all that too. So he was with me in college. But other than that, nah, no one else should really still be playing like that.
All right.
All right. I don't have any trivia questions for today, so if anybody has any questions for me, like, I don't know, maybe we should stump the James type thing, since I'm always coming up with like random trivia questions. We do have some fan questions. Hugh, if you want to answer a couple of those.
Yeah.
All right, we got one from Instagram. Says, which forward throughout the season do you like going against? Like, who do you match up well against?
Well, now that Dane Kelly's on our side, it was always a battle and a good matchup going against him. So give me a sec. Let me think about somebody else on mine. And I have to say, well, Lancaster's there now for Louisville. It's always a good matchup. He's back. That should be fun. Who else is up there?
Yeah, Romario in Miami now.
Can't forget Romario. Definitely. It's always about I remember him from Atlanta now. I'm thinking about the game from Atlanta last year. Definitely Romario, and definitely Nico Brett from Pittsburgh is now in Birmingham too. There's always a good battle going against him in practice back in Pittsburgh days. Now it should be fun going against him in Birmingham.
Yeah. All right, got another one from Instagram. What do you like doing in Charlotte, or what do you like best about Charlotte? And then the second part of that was when everything's not locked down, what do you typically be doing on the weekends, or when you have free time?
Yeah, so I live in South End. I just love that everything's pretty much walkable. I walk around my blocks often. There's, a bunch of food places that I love to go venture out to. That's what I do often, like to get out of my house, go walk around, go to Price's Chicken. Mike, you know about that. Go to Two Scoops, go to a bunch of places, because I'm walking distance, like I said. So I like to get out of my house and go venture and go explore my area. And then when everything gets back and going, like I said, I'll definitely go venture out to the food. I love the Southern food down here. It's been great for me, especially where I live. Everything's very close in proximity for me, walking distance. So I go around pretty much either grab one. Oh, and that beer garden's there too. Might go grab a drink occasionally, but really just go and grab some food from my area.
What's better, Jenny's ice cream or Two Scoops?
I'm gonna have to go with Two Scoops. Jenny's very popular, so I've only been like 1 or 2 times. The lines have been crazy, but they're both pretty much neck and neck. It's nice to have both of them right beside each other and walking distance from me. I'm a big ice cream guy.
But Jenny's has those handmade cones. You can't. Oh.
Yeah. I know. Can't beat that. So I'll give it to them because that's some creativity right there. Having some handmade cones. That's probably the first city I've ever heard about that.
Fair
And
enough.
Charlotte too in general is just I would say it's pretty much a millennial area, because when I go around places there's games everywhere. It's one of the few cities I know if you go anywhere just to grab a bite to eat, they're gonna have Jenga there, they're gonna have Uno there, just card games pretty much everywhere. So they do a good job keeping the young crowd active and together.
You live in the same kind of area too, right, Mike? Like, do you ever get out to Jenny's or Two Scoops?
Yeah. No, I go through the same decisions. Unfortunately for you, I haven't seen them at any of the beer gardens just yet. So, and the odds are very high that we'll run into each other at Prices at some point. So, I'm probably the wrong one to talk to about eating healthy. So, unfortunately, I could talk a good game, but don't live it. So no, and I enjoy the area as well. Same things. It's just nice to be able to get out, walk around. And my dog loves it. My dog's happiest. He'll be walking down the rail trail and he'll just turn right into Sycamore or any of the breweries.
Yep.
He gets all his attention there, so he's keeps us going.
I think the big winners of the lockdown of the quarantine are got to be the dogs, right? The dogs are getting so much attention right now, like all the walks in the afternoon, all the staying home, and just all right, a couple more questions from the fans. Hugh? What have you been doing like in the meantime during the lockdown?
Yeah, so Cam, our trainer, gave us home workouts to do every single day. So I do that every single day, go on a run 2 to 3 times a week. So I'm trying to stay active every day. But for the most part, it's giving me time to focus on my podcast, Backyard Footy. It gives me some more time to expand my brand. So that's what I've been doing if I'm not working out. And just give me more. I'm a reader too as well. So it's giving me even ordering more books and give me more time to read and just do a lot of self-care, to be honest. But definitely in terms of if I'm not working out, I'm definitely expanding my brand, just trying to keep growing myself.
What are you reading right now?
Right now, I just finished, where's my book at? I forget, but it's I forget where my book's at, but it's called like Taking Out Your Emotional Trash or something like that. Just something my girl actually put me on to, just trying to diversify myself and grow myself in that range as well. So
how'd you get linked up with the we know you had the Backyard Footy thing before you joined the Independence, but how'd you get linked up with the ESPN guys to get that up?
Yeah, so I've been doing my podcast before I came here. I was literally I'm walking distance from the ESPN studio, so I walk by there all the time and I see them, like, let me look online and see what they're talking about. I go online, see they have their own soccer podcast called The Second Yellow. So it's like, oh, all right, cool. I'm glad they're doing a little soccer show, but they didn't put out an episode from 2018. So last off season, I hit them up and I was like, hey, I see you guys haven't done an episode in over a year. Told them about my podcast and I called them. They're very excited that I called them. They've been looking for somebody to dive into the soccer realm for a while. Went in there for a meeting and they said they love my energy. They thought I knew everything that I've been doing. It was great. I'm glad I hit them up. Just saw them online. I'm walking distance, like I said, so I saw the studio. I said, let me just give it a try and a shot, and it worked out for me.
Who's been your favorite interview so far? Like even, way past.
So in my beginning years, I had the Philadelphia Union boys come through. It was like a good 5 of them, but it was very good perspectives from like James Chambers, Santi Morar, some of the MLS guys. But just to have, it's different sometimes when you have an individual one-on-one and when you have a group of people. So it was good to have like a good 5 of them on the show. We're all boys from before, so we're all just laughing and joking. That was a pretty cool one. Another one last year was cool, having Kavan, Dom, Aaron Mound, Steve, all the older guys on the team. That was a fun one as well, where when you could just tell based off the show how we have good camaraderie in the locker room. So that transferred over to my show whenever it's a group like that. And so it was jokes the whole time, banter the whole time. And it was very nice hearing their perspectives too from the older side of the team, because sometimes you don't hear how their journeys happen, how they became successful as they are today.
All right, a couple more fan questions that are coming in. And just a reminder to anybody on the chat today, just go ahead and shoot us your questions if you have any for Hugh. You can use it in the little chat function, and one of these, wherever that is, on where my finger is. Stephen B wants to know, what was your favorite goal from last year? I think you had 3, right?
4 to be exact.
Oh.
I would have to say, well, for me personally, definitely the Philly goal, because playing against my old teams in Philly with my family, yeah, that meant a lot to me, that goal. But also Ottawa goal was up there too. I think that was my first goal of the season. And that was from a direct corner, because that was one of my favorite goals. But definitely passionate-wise, emotional-wise, that Philly goal meant a lot to me.
The Ottawa goal, you scored at Ottawa the year before too, right?
Yeah, with Pittsburgh. Forgot about that.
Love going up to.
Right.
All right, let's see. What else we got? Anybody on the chat got anything for Hugh? You can speak up. Oh, hold on. Jim asked. Jim asked, "Is your favorite beer 1775?" Better be.
Of course.
Everybody didn't see that's in cans now, so go pick up a 4-pack of 1775 or a Noda.
That release is today at noon. So as soon as we're done with this, I'm going over to.
I think you cut out, Jim. One more time. Oh no, Jim died. Oh well. Okay. Ben's asking, what's your favorite brewery? So you like to go hopping, don't you?
Yeah, hopping was, when I first moved here, blew my mind kind of, because I've never seen a brewery like that has multiple tabs of beer and wine on deck. You don't even have to fill up a full cup. You can just, it measures by the ounces, so you can fill up a half a cup, do however you please, which is really cool. And like I said, they have a bunch of games in the outdoor area. But for me now, being here a little bit, it's probably between what's that new one across from Soul Food?
Or the one they just built?
Yeah, the one they just built. I forget, but definitely the beer garden is really cool. I highly recommend everyone going to see that. That's a block for me as well. But the beer garden has to be up there now, and that new one, I'm trying to think, across from Soul Food. I want to say the best 2 in the area right now. The lines are ridiculous, and just the vibes is nice. That it's really cool just being outdoor. And the beer garden, I highly recommend. They have a tree in the middle of it. It's 3 floors and hundreds and hundreds of tabs of different kind of beers and things. They do a good job with it, so I recommend that.
Yeah, I haven't been there. I've heard it's really popular. But they had, when I was up at NC State, they had one up there. It's like their sister restaurant beer garden thing, and it's massive. Like the amount of classes is just kind of crazy. All right. Ben also asked, what are you missing right now while not being with the team?
I miss my boys. I miss competing every day, to be honest. I'm a competitor and I love competing, and I miss our training sessions, just going at it, talking trash and getting hyped and just getting better. We have a good locker room too that transitioned from last year to this year because we have a good core of us. But definitely before and after trainings, hanging out with each other in breakfast times, hanging out after training. I miss the banter and then transitioning from the field talking trash to in the locker room talking trash. It's competitive, but I love the competitiveness. It just makes you better and it brings the best out of you. And that's something I miss and definitely look forward to coming back every day.
For sure. I think everyone is.
All right.
All right. Well, that's all the questions that I have, unless I missed one. Does anybody else have anything else for Hugh or Mike or Jim or anybody on the chat?
I think someone in the chat, Matt TW.
Oh, let's see here.
Question for Mike.
Yeah, so Matt, there's a lot of games that are very memorable for sure. Probably from the standpoint, I separated in a couple, but from the standpoint of coaching, the first MLS Cup that we were in with Chicago in Los Angeles was probably the most memorable because it was just a huge crowd and a big event, and obviously we ended up winning against DC United. So to celebrate a championship on the field, everything that was truly memorable, and would top it from the being on the sidelines or coaching. Playing wise, although I was on the wrong end of this game, I played in the NCAA final in '82. I went to like 8 overtimes, and I think I ended up playing. We played 160 minutes, but it was just a crazy game in Fort Lauderdale in the heat and humidity, and was I'll never forget it, but probably also for all the wrong reasons, since we didn't end up winning. So those would be the two kind of the big games that I would have on my list.
We got a couple more. Hugh, somebody asked, or Tim asked, if you weren't a soccer player, what would you be doing?
It depends what point I'm at in my life. But you asked me this coming out of college or coming out of high school. Growing up my whole life, I pretty much played basketball and soccer. I got recruited for high school for basketball, not soccer. So at one point in my life, I definitely thought I was going to go the basketball route. So if back then you were to ask me not soccer, I'd probably choose basketball. But now at this point in my life, coming out of college, I was a business management major. And I still want to manage my own company, definitely in the financial realm. So if I wasn't playing any sport at all, be hopefully managing my own company soon. And even now, if I was to retire like next year in a year or so, probably work on my podcast, expand my brand, and continuously growing that into a company standpoint too. So definitely a couple of different options. But now at this point, probably focusing on my podcast and trying to become a businessman.
Cool.
Very good.
All right. Well, we're winding down. We're getting close to our 40-minute limit for our Zoom. So we'll go ahead and start wrapping this thing up. One more shout out to Famous Toasery for sponsoring today's virtual hangout. Once again, they're running that Easter special. So 4 meals for $40. Take advantage of that. It's a pretty good deal. And then also, don't forget, we're going to push out our Famous Toastery design contest next week. So design your designs in for the Military Appreciation Night. Hey, Hugh, I'm just saying, I'm putting it out to the players too. If you guys don't want to wear anything ridiculous, you got to get some good designs in.
I got you. You know me.
All right. And then we got another virtual hangout next Tuesday. We're going to have a special guest, Mike Jeffries and Jake Armin. And I think Dave Dixon is going to be on that one as well. So a little bit different perspectives. And just want to thank you guys for joining us today. So once again, hope you guys are staying healthy, staying safe out there. And appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Appreciate you guys.
All right.
All right. We'll see you guys on Tuesday.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Have a good afternoon.
All right, Joey. I'll see you soon.
See you, Joey.